Today, I was really sitting back and thinking about how we can use every situation and every circumstance, to the smallest conversation, to the smallest interaction with another person, as a learning experience, as a way to grow and to evolve ourselves. I'm in the process of really learning how to not take things personal. As someone growing up, I learned and acclimated myself to taking things personally. And my biggest affliction at this point is learning how to not take things personal, because we have to understand that everybody sees the world from a different lens, from a different perspective, from a different point of view. And that changes how they perceive things, that changes how they interpret things. Two people could see the same image and find completely different, unique meanings to that same image. And that's the same goes with interactions, words, beliefs, the same thing. So when you are having these conversations, or you having these interactions with other people, understand that people take things personally. People provide their own personal aspect to conversations, to situations. So if other people are taking things personally through their own perception, and then we take things personally, it's more than likely that we're gonna find a lot of conflict. She's a little itchy. Kimmy's a little itchy right now. She's scratching. But it's more than likely that we will find conflict when it comes to relationships, when it comes to situations around us. We will find conflict. And that conflict is only there because there is conflicts in beliefs, there's conflicts in thought processes, there's conflicts in memories and stored frameworks of thinking. So when we start to learn how to be the person that doesn't take the thing personally, then we can move fluidly through life. Because when you don't take things personal, things become impersonal. You start to realize that when things are impersonal and not personal, you have more lightheartedness about yourself. You aren't as serious about life. And I've been that kind of person that's very serious, very straight on. I can be very goofy too, but I've been very serious throughout my life because I've also taken things way too personally, meaning I'm relating them to a person, myself. Because to take things personal means I have a self to defend, I have an ego to defend, I have beliefs to defend. So if you're an individual who takes things personally, it means you are defending a part of you. You are defending an essence of you that you want to keep, and you want to keep into this belief system. So the whole key to the journey of life is understanding that don't take anything personal. It's a part of the characteristics of life of not taking things personally in order to be at your highest potential. Because when you stop taking things so close to heart, things don't impact you on the levels that they used to. They don't inflict you and affect you in the ways that they used to. And I think that's a beautiful place to start. When you have those moments of where you want to defend yourself, or you want to over-explain yourself, or anything of that nature, and you just choose silence instead. I love personally choosing silence now, instead of over-explaining myself, instead of always having a defense. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still a work in progress, to where I still have my moments of wanting to defend, of wanting to, defend the honor of my ego. And because that ego wants to stay alive, that egoic, that memorable, all the ego is, quote unquote, right? Because your brain is not separated off into sections. It's all one cohesive flowing instrument, energetically and physically. It's not split off into section, but all that ego is the persona and the identities and the memories that you have cultivated throughout your life. It's not separate from you, it's a part of you, and it was designed to protect you, which is not always necessarily a bad thing, right? But it becomes an inhibitory thing when you use it to your own disadvantage, as in within relationships, within interactions with other people. So we have to understand that we can't take things personally, because who is the person that we're defending in the first place? Because if I don't have an ego, if I don't have an identity to defend, there's nothing for me to take personally. And I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm flowing through that. And this also reminds me of a conversation I had with my dad, right? He went through this situation a couple days ago on his birthday, actually. And he had an interaction with a guy, and the guy had said some racial, things to him. And I was trying to tell him that regardless of what that person's doing, we have to continue to maintain and stay within our energy and not let what another person is going through impact us. And that's very hard to do. As human beings, we feel things, we have emotions. That's what connects us to every single thing in the entire world. That's what connects us. Is what connects us to the world, is what connects us and unites us as human beings. Emotions. It's the strongest energetic currency in the world. So I'm telling him this, and I'm telling him, hey, like, in these situations, sometimes you do react out of your immediate flight or flight response. And if you don't train that fight or flight response, you're going to get the same response that the old version of you would have responded like. So that's why sometimes when we feel like we're healing and then something triggers an emotion, a reaction that the past version of us would have done, we get surprised because we're like, wow, I thought I healed that. But it just shows you that you have more work to do, which is completely fine. That's a beautiful thing when things can remind you of the things that you may still need to work on. And that's another thing, and I want to segue into and mention, is that healing is not linear. We all know that saying. A lot of us know that saying, rather, is that healing is not linear. Healing is not something that is a straight path. In other words, it's not something that you just keep going and you keep going and it never strays, it never bends, it never twists, it never turns. Absolutely not. Like, healing is ups and downs, roller coasters, back and forths. It's all over the place. It's a crazy experience because you're gonna go through phases of where you're up and you're high and you're down. You know what I'm saying? You're an energetic, fluid being, and you came into this life to experience all of these emotions, all of these feelings, all of this stuff, right? And when you expect healing to be this linear, straight path situation, then all you get is disappointments. Because when you get disappointed, you will be, and you won't want to continue on your journey. You'll say, what am I doing all this hard work for if all that happens is for me to fall back where I was? But you have to understand that healing is not about... Kimmy's staring at me. If you don't know who Kimmy is my dog. She's super cute. But she's listening. She's paying attention. It's a word. But anyway, so you have to understand that healing is not going to look like this picture perfect fairy tale movie, right? It's going to come with polarity. That's what the world has. The world has polarity. It has opposites. It has, the positive and the negative, the acidic and the alkaline, the mother and the father, the sun and the moon, the balance of nature, the balance of life. That is what healing is. You will have trauma and you will have healing. You know what I'm saying? It's all a part of the human experience. And no, is it beautiful all the time? No. Is it perfect? No. Because we were not created to be perfect. We were created in the image of perfection, but we're not perfect. So those times that you slip up and those times that you mess up and you bounce back to your old habits or your old ways, pull yourself up. Get yourself up. Get back on your path and continue on onto your journey. But just know there's no final destination. We will forever be on this journey of growth and of healing, of change. We're ever evolving beings. You gotta imagine this. Your cells are dying after so many days, right? Your cells are constantly dying and reviving, and you are made up of thousands of cells that come together and make you as a human being. Thousands of intelligent sources that consist of DNA that make up you. So you have to understand that there's life and there's death in this process, and the life may be beautiful and the death may be a little ugly, but they were meant to both be there. They were meant to both show you something. We have to stop looking at, I also call it looking at the darkness as something negative. And for me, there is nothing that is inherently good and there's nothing that is inherently bad. There is just polar opposites. So look at your journey as a beautiful conundrum of, balance and unbalance, yin and yang, dark and light, and it all 11:11, and it all belongs there. Every single part of it, every single part of your life belongs there. And what if right now you started to really truly believe that right now is perfect for you? This version where you're at is perfect. And you start having that gratitude about where you're at right now. How beautiful would that be if you started to have a little bit more gratitude about life, about your experiences? Because if you went back and you made changes to all those little experiences, you wouldn't be who you are right now. Maybe that's a positive, maybe that's a negative thing. But like I said, we're always continuing and growing. Even me, I have a lot of growth to do, more than you may know. I have much to work on, and we all do. But that doesn't make us bad people. It doesn't make you a bad person that you're still working on yourself. It doesn't make you, an inadequate or not good enough human being, because you are good enough the way you are. But there's also nothing wrong with working towards becoming a better version of yourself, because that is a truly beautiful thing. Because when you work towards becoming a better version of yourself, you serve as a better energetic source within the universe. You serve the collective. You serve your inner purpose that you came here in this world to be, and you become more authentic. And that's really the true goal of everything in this life, is to be the most authentic form of you. And to be authentic, we have to stop identifying ourselves with our personas, taking everything too personally, and not having enough fun. Because I think we all need to have a little bit more fun and stop taking this world just so serious, including me. But I appreciate you guys for coming in and joining. I hope to see you next time, and I hope you start to see that the dark and the light both play integral roles in your life. They both play key roles in your life. But one thing to mention before we leave, I will be releasing a book. Yes, a book. Next month. A book, yes. Next month, I will be releasing a book, and you can look forward to it. So look forward to more information about that. It's going to be just like what my YouTube channel offers. Just the same kind of information, the same kind of vibe. I'll explain more in videos to come. So I hope to see you guys next time, and look forward to that book coming. Ashe and amen.